Let's learn about the Balda Baldix. It's a simple 120 camera. Very thin, very small. A hot shoe that's not active. A dial that does absolutely nothing other than remind you of what ISO you have. I completely forget this dial is even on the camera. This we'll talk about in a second, but this is your shutter. The camera is on the right side. The shutter is on the right side of the camera. This button will open the front. This is your wind, film, and advance, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as we cock the camera. Now I'm going to go ahead and open the front door. This is the front door. This is you'll usually find on most view cameras is a little tab to help you pull the door if it's jammed. It also acts as a stand. Let me go ahead and open it now. Open it. And I see the bellows. Bellows. And the way to close it, since we have it open, is just take your fingers on both sides, right here, and pull gently at the same time. Close it with the other hand. Let's see how this works. So if I go ahead and open the camera again, and open it, now the camera can actually rest. So to look at it from this way, it's actually a flat plane, so you can rest the camera perfectly flat, like that, to take a picture, which is pretty awesome. I usually close it if I'm not doing that. Here's a top-down view. Now, let's talk about the front of the camera. The front of the camera is all lens. Focus is done on the front here. The red caret shows you your focus. Kind of need to know what you're doing. The target is usually about right here, which I always feel is about 8 feet. I usually keep it at 8 feet. And just remember, so whenever I'm taking a picture of someone, I know how far 8 feet is, so I need to focus. Next is right around that caret, you'll see your aperture settings, which are your focus zone. It tells you everything from about 8 feet to 10 feet will be in focus at f5.6. Everything from about 7 feet to 10. Next is the aperture. The aperture is located over here. This, you just slide this up, and although you can't see it through the lens, it's changing. I like keeping everything at about 5.6 right here. 8 feet. 5.6. See, all my red dots are lining up now. Now I'm not going to talk about the flash. That's up to you if you want to do that. There's a lot of research on you can find online about the M and the X position for flash sync firing, and that you can hook it to any strobe. This is the self-timer. It's the only thing it's not really repaired on the camera, but it will usually give you about 15 to 20 seconds of time, and you just cock it back, and when you fire the shutter down here, it'll do the usual zzz, but it's not very strong. So it's going to be a little bit weak. Now your shutter adjustment is the biggest dial here. And here you're going to line it up with that caret right there. And it fires all the way from bulb, which is wide open, all the way to about 300th of a second. And in the 1930s, that's as far as they could get a camera to fire. I think this is in 1941, maybe. So that's your shutter. Just have it wherever you want. It's variable. Now where's the shutter? The shutter is this little rod right here. Now the camera's cocked. So what I like to do is the first thing I do is I select my shutter speed. And I'm going to say 100th of a second. And then I cock it. And you just grab this pin right here and just pull it upwards. And it clicks into place. Once that's done, you can fire. And the way you can know you can fire if the camera's cocked is if that thing is perfectly clear and silver, a little opening right there, right? So now if I want to, I can go ahead and fire, and if you watch closely, you'll see the blades open up inside the lens, and you'll see the shutter go back. Ready? And here we go. Very fast. Now how do we wind? Well, we wind like this. I'm going to turn this counterclockwise until it clicks and stops. It stopped. Now I need to turn it the other way. By turning it the other way until it stops, recocks the shutter so that can fire all over again, and your film is ready to go. I'll stop it here. In the next video, we'll talk about how to load the camera with film.